December 11th, Rincon. Surf is just so good right now. Oh my God. I was just going to go for a bike ride, but had to stop to catch some of this. Uh-oh. Don't really want to get wet. Oh man. Oh my. This is probably the best day I've ever seen it here. Very light breeze coming down from right to left, typical. You know, last year about this time I was installing solar panels and in Carpinteria, and it was just drizzling and cloudy, foggy every day. I didn't go see what the surf was like, but the weather was nothing like this. Oh my, look at this outside. I just have a cell phone camera, so no zoom on it. Oh, this brings back memories. I'm 70. I'm 77, and I started surfing about 1961. And a friend of mine, my age, he started surfing about 57 or 58. He had a Velzy Jacobs balsa wood board that he hung on to. It was all chewed up, beat up. But he was very accomplished surfer. Probably at least as good, as good as these really, top end. Considering, the era and the boards were pretty long. But he used to talk about Rincon going up to 10, 11, 12 feet in the winter. And I never came up here. It was just outside my driving limit, and we were in LA at the time. Lived on Beverly Way. I mean, no, that's not right. Lived on Sweetser. Cross Street was Beverly. But that guy, Chuck Heidbrink, nobody'd remember him. He probably had a somewhat of a reputation back then. Not really up there with Dewey Weber. And a lot of these kids probably don't even know who that is. But this is quite the day. Oh, the other thing is, we didn't have wetsuits or leashes. Somebody told me the leashes didn't happen until the 70s. So we were always swimming after our boards. You'd fall off and then they'd get messed up. Oh my God. It just looks like so much fun. Well, it is. I got to be all right, medium grade level, 1 or 2 levels above being a kook. I remember being in a little tube once at Topanga for about 2 seconds. And then I do remember, I don't know if anybody watching this ever heard of Lanada Bay. was off Palos Verdes area. And when I was a junior high kid, a Greek freighter piled up there. I mean, a big ship just off Granada Bay area, and you might even be able to see it, a little bit of a remnant of it, because they never salvaged it or anything. It was just abandoned there. But I remember Granada Bay didn't ordinarily break, but when it did, it was massive, and it was a left. Well, actually, I think it was a bay, and there was the north side was probably a right, and the south side probably a left. And that's what I was surfing one day. And and it wasn't a big, it was just a kind of a, not like the wedge, but it wasn't a long run, it was just, you were just going to get on and ride a little ways, nothing like this. But it seems to me I was in an area, where I think I probably was underneath a 12-foot wave. And it just scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you. I didn't really want any part of it. It was, so I get the rush, and the power of the ocean and these waves, I mean, they don't really, they're not very polite. Even a wader coming out of the water knows that. You're just wading onto the beach, and a 3 or 4 foot surf thing will hit you in the back, right, slap you right in the ass. No courtesy. So I wasn't too interested in surfing all these years. I mean, I did it until about, there's a belly board thing with fins. Anyway, I got the idea I'd like to try that belly board thing with fins. And I bought one. And, your head, in your mind, you think you can do it, but oh wow, look at that! Oh man! Check out how transparent the waves are. You can see right through them. Oh man! But I'm sure look at how you have to watch out for these people swimming back out. And I know it's the same thing. I've heard that the better surfers, it's always been that way. They just really don't like inexperienced people just fumbling around in their way. There he goes. So anyway, I got some fins and a belly board, and I actually am a good swimmer. I swim competitively, and I can swim okay. But I've lost some weight because I'm a cyclist, and I wanted to try being skinny. And then the wind starts to go. I still have good wind. I take my heart rate up to almost 170, keep it there. But I went out the other day over there. I went clear, well, out to where I thought it wouldn't be too bad. And I did get out beyond the breakers, but then I realized I was being swept down toward Ventura. So anyway, I chickened out. Oh! Now, oh, look how fast! Just a rocket ship. There you go. Now that would have been considered probably almost, Dewey Weber was the hot dogger, of the day. And he'd whip the board around like that. Which is probably, you know, the whole level of ability has gone way up. See, it's a Monday. I guess nobody has to work anymore. Get your stimmy check. No point in talking politics because it's kind of like two echo chambers. Two opposing echo chambers. And I know from my cycling experience, I'd say over half are on the left, in the left echo chamber. And it could be the same thing here. Seems my generation, we didn't even have a name except maybe war babies because we were born in World War II. So, and after us, I guess it's the baby boomers. And they're the ones that seem... Hi. Let's move a little more this way. So many of them are the leftist persuasion. And I got some of that when I was in college. Say 64. I had a history teacher at Valley College who was a very pleasant man, and he kind of convinced me that socialism would be the way to go. But I've learned since then that, you know, it really isn't at all. There he goes, talking politics. You can't just talk about waves and surfing. But it is going to be important, you know. Enjoy your surfing and your exercise and fun. But sooner or later, the politics is going to overtake everything. And the economy. Well, a little quiet spot here. God, look at it. Look at out there. I don't know if they call it the third or fourth break. Well, I'm kind of sorry I didn't get into this. Well, I know what happened. I had a 9.4 Weber. My shortest board was an 8.11 Weber that was stolen when I lived on Sweetser and went in the Army. Came back and the board was gone. God, that's beautiful. Jesus. Oh my. Oh, what a rush. Oh. Oh, oh, right through those people. Oh. Ha. Don't you love it? Oh. Oh. It just seems to me that the way society is kind of being cultivated to not, I mean, even recently, I mean, you can't even get a job, even if you want one. And it's hard to start a business or be in a business. Due to the pandemic, and I believe that's been grossly exaggerated. But, or even if you believed it, is it worth, you know, putting people out of work and they're going back to drinking and back on drugs? And you know, you need to have some production happening in life. It's important to a person's self-esteem, I think, to be doing something. I mean, maybe you could make a living surfing, but I doubt many people are that good. Well, I haven't finished any thought. I've just been rambling here. Oh man, Jesus, look at this. Oh, wouldn't it be something if my camera wasn't on all this time? Oh my God. I mean, gotta be, you know, 8 feet. Look at him heading right for all those. Oh, you see him diving under. You see somebody rocketing at you with a fin on the bottom of the board. I don't have very fast internet. Anything that goes longer than 10 minutes like this will take a long time. But I just can't stop. But I'm going to have to. God. Oh, you got. Oh man, you gotta watch out. Watch out. And then there's. Wow. So I don't know what's going to happen. It just seems to me things are not sustainable. The way the government's been running up debt, stimulus checks for no work. Sometimes people get paid more for not working on unemployment. Just completely crazy stuff. And the censoring is insane. I mean, it's so abusive to me. I don't know how anybody could agree to that. I mentioned, I put a quote up by Adolf Hitler on Facebook. It just, what Hitler had said is, it's fortunate for governments that people don't think. And I thought that's a real important. You know, you think, what a horrible person he was, you know, a monster. And he's saying that it was good for him that people didn't question what he was promoting. And of course, you know, you're taken down now for, I think, maybe just saying the name. I guess because you could say, well, that's abusive, you know, if you call somebody Hitler just because you don't agree with them. That's not the right way to use it. Oh. But censorship is a terrible thing. Taking the president off is just an awful thing. And you know, people are being, it's just like the Dark Ages where people are being vilified for having a different opinion. And that's what happened in Nazi Germany. You know, you vilified the Jews long enough. You demonize them. And it soaks in. That was the other thing they said, is that repeat a lie often enough and people begin to believe it. Just keep enjoying the surfing while I ramble on here. So I never would have imagined, you know, the pandemic was bad enough, but now this new level of censorship, it just can't be a good thing at all. Oh my God, it's surprising. I mean, this is the case for anarchy here in a way, because there are no rules, there's no lifeguard, everybody's on their own, and there's kind of mutual cooperation. There may be some words exchanged, but I don't know anybody's died there except somebody last year had a heart attack. And I almost died over there. But anyway, and yet there's cooperation somehow. Same thing I notice when I'm riding cycling. There's no rules. I mean, they're sort of generally understood rules, but there's no law enforcement. And people get along. What I'm saying is, I guess, I'm kind of a anarcho-capitalist. Believe in capitalism, but minimal government, because it seems like that's what always causes the problem. And I've also noticed that I'm a recovering alcoholic, and everybody, any drug can get you in trouble, and you start to crave it, and you gotta have it, you can't live without it. And I believe the most powerful drug probably known to man is power. And people will do anything to keep it, or to get it, and to hold it. Not everybody. It seems like I found probably most of these surfers don't give a shit about power. You know, most people don't. They just want to have a good time and be left alone. But there's a certain percentage, you know, they end up in politics and they just like calling the shots. And they think, they look at us human beings like we really don't have a mind of our own. You know, we're not worthy of having a thought on our own. So they know what's best. They know what's best. And they're going to shove it down your throat. And I think you saw the power trip thing, is, if I could make an analogy, is that all the while Trump was in power, or had the high office, look how hard they tried to get their power back by removing him from office. And now, once they got back into power, it's like a Trump who's just out for blood. You know, like beat the wife, get away with it, and then start beating on the kids. That's us. They're going to show us. Don't you ever, ever question us again. Well, I'm really going off, aren't I? Well, I'll probably get taken down. Maybe it's a good thing. But I had a wonderful life. You know, I think I got in just before, you know, at one of the best times. I was able to do, we just had a lot of fun. We had the 60s, you know, wild times, good times. We had wars that the government started, and most of them we shouldn't have gotten into. And a lot of people messed up from that. I mean, other people around the world from our meddling and involvement. But I was able to make enough money in real estate. Didn't have anything to start with, but lucked out, and a lot of it is luck, but you got to be able to save that first few dollars, you know, so you can invest it. Of course, everything's off now. I'm not giving financial advice, but in my case it worked, and I was able to go from nothing to buy some land up in Toro Canyon and plant 20 acres of trees, avocados, citrus, flowers. What am I doing here? And I had many relationships with other business owners in town selling, you know, small time stuff, but I enjoyed doing it. I liked the farming. And then the bulk of my income was from avocados, wholesale. But I don't know how you do it now. So many here in California, you know, all the rules and regulations for employees. I couldn't do it. And to be a restaurant owner, oh my God, you know, it's already a hard business, one of the hardest. And all the servers now having to wear masks when you just sit, you can go outside, you got to take it off to eat. None of it makes any sense at all. Okay, I think I'm done. Had to get it out. But anyway, I guess to be young now, you're either going to have to choose to go along with the program, whatever it is, get your shot, stay home, wear a mask, whatever they say, you got to do it. And you may like that, or you're going to have to choose to be a rebel and try to reclaim some self-ownership and freedom. I know I would, but that won't be fun. Being a revolutionary, you know, an outlier, everybody's yelling at you. Tough. Very tough times. But maybe you can just get away. Maybe they'll just keep sending you money and you can surf every day for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be great? And somebody's going to be working to pick the food and grow the food and put it in front of you and just take care of everything. Build the houses for you. You don't have to raise a finger. Nothing. Everything's just going to be done right for you. Okay, I'm done. I hope I didn't ruin your day. It's too late now, but I should have said just turn off the yammer. So long.